So one more thing we're going to want to do to work with these features, now that we have all of our attributes filled in and we have our geometry kind of corrected and smooth, looking nice, is we're going to use some of the built-in features of the data model to validate the relationship between the plant centers and the mass plantings and to make sure that it actually passes. So to do that, we're going to go ahead and hit Add Data. And we're going to want to go into our Lesson 4 folder. So that for me is under CGIS UC Davis Arboretum. It may be a different location for you. Go into Lesson 4, go into the UC Davis Arboretum Geodatabase, go inside the base map feature data set. And once you get in there, you'll see this base map topology. And if you recall, this topology actually has a bunch of rules contained in it that says how different features should relate to each other geometrically on the map, and this will allow us to validate it and make sure that we've collected good data and that it passes all of our rules that have been set up. So it asks, when I want to add this base map topology, do you want to add all the feature classes that participate in base map topology to the map? And because there are quite a few, we're not going to do that, so go ahead and hit no. Otherwise it would add a lot of things to our map for us. So, okay, now you'll see this base map topology, and under the symbology it'll have different symbols depending on point, line, or polygon errors. So those things are here for us. Now to work with this topology, we're going to need a new toolbar. So go under Customize, Toolbars, and scroll down to the Topology toolbar and turn that on. And this toolbar will let us validate these errors. So the first thing we want to do is start editing, because the topology has the capacity to make some changes. If this error comes up here with the projection, you can go ahead and hit continue. That's fine. And now on this, the first thing we're going to want to do is actually validate the topology. So it goes through and it checks all of the rules. And then there's a few different options, and those are down here at the right. So there's validate topology in our specified area, or validate topology in current extent. And we're going to go for the current extent method, so it's just really going to look at what's on our screen right now. So it goes through, and it immediately brings up these two red point errors showing us that there's some kind of error in our data. And to find out what these errors are, we're going to use this thing on the toolbar called the Error Inspector. So click on that, and it brings up a new window at the bottom of your screen. And now for the error inspector to work properly, you need to either go through the whole entire map to look at things, or it'll just look at things on our current extent. So since we are now missing one of our plants on here, I'm going to try to scroll and make it so that both of our features fit on the map before we validate. Okay, so now we're going to hit the Search Now button down here in the Error Inspector, and it basically goes through and searches for any errors that are on the screen currently. Okay, so you see it's brought up our two errors here, and if we expand this, it says that the rule is must be properly inside, and it's saying that plant center must be properly inside a planting area. But because we haven't defined any planting areas and drawn those in on this map, it doesn't have that, it can't validate that for us, or it can't pass that rule for us. So there's two solutions to this problem. One would be to draw in the planting area and make sure that our plant center is properly inside of it, which would be a proper relationship. Or since we don't have these planting areas drawn in and we want to basically just ignore these for now because we know we're going to come back and draw this in, you can right click on this guy. I believe you can right click on it, yeah, there you go, and hit Mark as Exception. It'll just take it off of the errors for now until we draw those in. But you can always go back at a later date and revalidate this and just make sure that you click this exceptions box, and it'll pull up all the exceptions again, and you can make sure that it passes right. So that's the basic premise here. So the main rule that we did want to look at is to make sure that our plant center was inside of our mass planting, and because they both are, it didn't come up as an error. Okay, and that'll pretty much do it. So we can close this Error Inspector, and we can also stop editing. And we'll save our edits, and I'm going to close my topology toolbar, and then we're going to go ahead and be done with this map. I guess all this data that we collected out in the field, it looks good, and we're ready to go collect some more and finish this section off. So to do that, we're just going to first save our document here, and we're going to save it in our Lesson 7 folder, and let's just call it Lesson 7. Okay, and that'll pretty much conclude this lesson, so you can close out your ArcMap window, and I'll finish it up. Okay, so that concludes Lesson 7 in our Public Gardens GIS training series. So today we learned how to post-process the GPS data we collected in the field using the ArcGIS Public Gardens data model. Now that we've learned how to create, collect, and edit GIS data, you can begin to create accurate collection maps for your garden. To learn more how to do this, I recommend checking out Esri's online course titled Cartographic Design Using ArcGIS. I hope that this training series has helped you learn the process of creating an accurate GIS for your garden, and I encourage you to share your questions and experiences with the rest of the Alliance for Public Gardens GIS community at apgg.org. Thanks for watching and good luck.